You're watching S24 Rundown. I am Zainab Ibrahim, bringing you the latest developments from across Nigeria and around the world. Now, with just 4 days left before the Independent National Electoral Commission opens its candidate nomination portal for the 2027 general elections, the All Progressive Congress APC is grappling with a wave of petitions and complaints arising from its recently concluded primary elections. Aggrieved aspirants in several states have challenged the conduct and outcomes of the primaries, alleging irregularities and demanding reviews of results. Party leaders are under pressure to resolve the dispute quickly to avoid legal battles and ensure a smooth submission of candidate names to INEC. In another story, OPay has expanded its footprint in Nigeria with the launch of a new office in Kaduna, reinforcing its commitment to financial inclusion and improved customer services across the country. The fintech company said the new facility will bring its services closer to individuals, merchants, and business partners in Kaduna State, while strengthening support for its growing network of agents and customers. The office launch forms part of OPay's broader strategy to deepen access to digital financial services and enhance engagement with local communities. According to the company, the Kaduna office will help improve service delivery, create business opportunities, and support economic growth in the region. Now, fresh concerns have emerged following the circulation of a recent image believed to show notorious bandit leader Bello Turji in what observers describe as a healthier and more confident appearance. The image, which has gained attention on social media and in security cycles, has reignited debate about the effectiveness of ongoing military operations against the bandit groups in Nigerian Northwest. Many residents and analysts fear that the development could suggest that the wanted kingpin still enjoys significant freedom of movement despite sustained security offensive against his network. Ambassador Shehu Ilu has arrived in Accra, Ghana, to officially assume his duties as Nigeria's High Commissioner to the West African nation. His arrival marks the commencement of a new diplomatic assignment aimed at strengthening the long-standing relationship between Nigeria and Ghana. Berde was received by officials of the Nigerian High Commission and representative of the Ghanaian government, signaling the beginning of his tenure as a time when both countries are seeking deeper cooperation in trade, security, and regional integration. There is strong indications that the Titanite abducted school children and 7 teachers from Ahoro, Eshinle, Yawota, and Alausa communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State may soon regain their freedom as security agencies intensify efforts to rescue them. Sources familiar with the operation disclose the troops have tightened their grip around the forest where the victims are believed to be held, blocking key escape routes and narrowing the movement of the kidnappers. The victims were abducted during coordinated attacks on schools in the affected communities, sparking widespread concern across the state. Finally, signs of progress have emerged from ongoing talks between the United States and Iran, raising hopes of breakthrough in effort to ease tensions in the Middle East. Mediators from Qatar and Pakistan announced that both sides had agreed on a roadmap aimed at reaching a comprehensive agreement within 60 days. The negotiations come after weeks of heightened tensions, including dispute of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global shipping route for oil exports. Now, let's move to our next segment, the business news update with Hadiza Galadima.
Welcome to your business update. As a new trading week begins, investors and market watchers We'll be keeping a close eye on development across the economic landscape, from movements in the stock market and global oil prices to inflation trades and safe haven assets. The week ahead promises to offer fresh insights into businesses' direction and economies around the world. Here is a look at some of the stories shaping the market and the broader economic outlook. Nigeria's digital economy continues to expand, with regulators, banks, and telecommunications firms deepening investment in digital financial services. Industry stakeholders say the trend is strengthening financial inclusion and supporting economic growth. And also, the Nigerian exchange also sustained robust activities, with the all-share index remaining above the 250,000 point mark amid renewed investor confidence. Market analysts attribute the performance to strong corporative earnings and increased participation by domestic investors. And also, the National Center for Technology Management and the ACO Group says their drone pilot training initiative will help bridge skill gaps and create employment opportunities in Nigeria's growing technology sector. And a look at the Nigerian stock market update. The top gainers are International Energy Insurance, ASO Savings and Loans, and also Deep Capital Management and Trust. For the top losers, several banking and consumer goods stocks led the laggers, with market breadth showing more decliners than advancers through recent sessions. And the global market recorded gains after progress in peace talks between the United States and Iran raised hopes of improved oil supply. Brent crude prices slipped below $80 per barrel, while Asian stocks advanced as investors welcomed signs of de-escalation. And lastly, investors are maintaining strong interest in traditional safe haven assets amid lingering geopolitical and economic uncertainties. Gold prices urged higher as investors sought protection from market volatilities, while the US dollar remained firm and demand for government bonds stayed elevated despite expectations of further interest rate hikes. That's it on our business update. Always remember, in times of uncertainty, capital seeks safety, but opportunity often belongs to those who stay informed. Stay tuned. After the break is our newspaper review segment. Bye for now.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much, Hadiza Galadima, for the business news. Moving on to our next segment, the newspaper review, and I will be doing this with Abubakar Turaki. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Zainab.
Happy New Week. Good to see you again today. So we'll be starting with the New Telegraph front page that says rising insecurity. Senate convenes emergency plenary tomorrow. The rising insecurity is not actually a new news to us, but the new development from the Senate. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I pray it's not going to be a kind of like a shambolic sitting. What we mean by shambolic sitting is a situation whereby the Senate and the House of Representative members will come and enter into a closed door session. They will go there, crack jokes, accuse one another, and even come out with just a blanket statement. And we pray it's not like that. But if truly they are going to go and discuss some matters that affect the country, well, I pray their own sitting tomorrow is going to see the light of the day. Because previously we saw how the country is under attack. Virtually all part of the country is being attacked by terrorists and unknown gunmen. And you know, the creation of state police is actually getting more momentum. And you know, they have to endorse it and they have to go through it in order for it to become a new law in the country. So hopefully, maybe as I saw the Senator Aderemadu who has been championing that issue, and they say that tomorrow their sitting is going to be something that Nigerians will actually enjoy. Well, let's be optimistic. And
Okay, so Abubakar, just like
decision.
you said, that you're praying that the meeting will be fruitful. I've had this question with one of my guests before when we are asking that do political leaders actually feel the pain of the insecurity, the effect of insecurity in Nigeria? Are they really in the same reality as every other person, or they just, they just come to the news to make statements that they don't really mean?
No, from their body language, they are not really feeling the pains, because the truth of the matter is we know that even a local government chairman nowadays, he's not even using some of Nigeria routes to travel. So you see, they are virtually exempted from all this issue of kidnapping. And we know how they have been actually booking chartered flight to go to many places.
So many of them are not even in the city where these things are happening.
Of course, but as rightly said by Brute, Brute predicted that, and maybe the next target, the Bende will start targeting the VIP, which you are not praying for that.
Why are you not praying for that?
Well, Zainab, if they start targeting the VIP, I think nobody.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not trying to say that I'm praying for that.
I understand, but like, it's going to be a kind of Nigeria is going to be the next Afghanistan, because attacking a common citizen and even starting to attack the VIPs, you see, that's to say that our security architecture is porous.
We are not praying for the insecurity to spread,
yes.
But don't you think that we actually allow these people who are supposed to protect us to be in the same page with us?
Of course, then recently what I saw yesterday, I think, was it on Saturday? Ekiti had their own elections.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody, he was actually debunking the conduct of that election. He said that the ruling party, they are accusing the ruling party of actually rigging the elections, in the sense that they are saying that those people that are competent enough to tackle the problem of insecurity are being deprived from given the chance in order to come out and sell their self, because we know that there are a lot of good people among the bad people. And it's just because of the political situation is tense.
Let me ask this final question. Okay, so they are moving to, have this plenary tomorrow. And even if you are not in the position where you are feeling this insecurity as close as some of those victims, why don't we have the victims on the table in the same room to make decisions with them? We have a bunch of people that might not really be able to relate to what is actually happening to make decisions for victims. Because
then the truth of the matter is, I'm still referring to their own body language. The citizens are no longer their problem. Their problem is their problem.
So you think this is just a headline capture?
It's actually an intentional headline. We knew that if truly they say that they really want to tackle this issue,
they would be
by now, I believe they could have shut down the National Assembly, cut down their salaries and allowances, Zainab, let them all go back to their own constituency, because Abuja is not their own constituency.
Of course.
They are there as just a temporary representative. Let them go back to their own constituency, find the remote cause and the immediate cause of the problem of insecurity. Is it the problem of education? Address it. Is it the problem of insecurity?
Ethnic conflict?
Conflict? Address it.
Or religion?
Lack of unemployment? Address it. Religion, according to Karl Marx, is an opium of the masses, and is a tool of destruction. Why are we still using religion in the 21st century? Despite the fact that I had a conversation earlier this morning with one of our guests. I actually told him that I don't really know what is wrong with most of the developing countries, especially African countries. In some other countries, they are talking of artificial and nano intelligence, Zainab. Now, if something like happened to you, do you know that they can actually administer everything to you? Even injection nowadays in some advanced countries, they are not. They are going to stop using needles.
That is such an interesting development. But Abubakar, we have much more pressing issue to have even developed.
Zainab, I know we have more pressing issues.
Let's move to our last
the fact that
headline.
Zainab, let us just have the political will and the leaders that will do this. Everything is possible in this country.
It is possible if the people are willing to let it happen.
Well,
but we think if some people are actually benefiting from it, so we don't expect all of this development to come into
Nigeria
play.
is ours, I know.
Well, Daily Trust front page, still also talking about insecurity, says Turuji's new appearance sparks concern.
was it on Saturday? We saw a video trending online.
Of course.
So when I saw that video, if not just because of the little understanding I have about the problem of insecurity, I thought it was a 1 battalion commander in the Nigerian army showcasing the level of arms and ammunition he had. The video was actually scary.
It was, and it's like putting people in a state of distress already. We don't know the truth behind all of this, but you know what social media can do.
Well, what you saw on social media, definitely there is an atom of truth there. The video is actually scary, and someone that even the government came and even told Nigerian they have actually apprehended him. And yesterday he just showed in a broad daylight.
And just like we heard that he is even looking much more healthier.
Of course. And even the arms and ammunition I saw in his hand parading yesterday, it was really amazing. And we are yet to receive any official statement from the government who is sponsoring him, who is funding him. And even to tell you that now Truge is actually he has what we call, is it night vision 8? Him and his boys can be able to at least terrorize a community even at night.
Wow.
And this is somebody that has been terrorizing the entire northwestern part of the country. Zamfara.
If a bandit leader can do that, can our military do that?
Well, if they have the support.
At this point, can we do that?
Yeah, we saw what happened in Zainab. Was it last week? When they went into one aggressive operation and they were able to at least rescue the wife of the former
I mentioned
general.
before that I am not sure about any rescue. We don't really know what happened. We just saw that woman. Yes,
we're applauding them. Her.
Yes, they said, but it's not a movie for us to watch. Are you sure it's not an agreement? Okay, we will take this and you will take that. If it is the rescue,
of course, there are allegations that apart from that, part of the major reason why Bello Chubuji said yesterday, the reason why he showed that video, he was just trying to go underground that his brother is currently in the custody of the government, that they should release his brother or else something is going to come.
That is the problem with Nigeria. Wonder, do we really do any rescue mission or we always make agreements?
Well, we saw the Katsina State governor saying that they are our brothers, and we saw many governors entering into truce and reconciliation with them, which I believe a terrorist will always be a terror. Until and unless he's been radicalized, he's been brought to book, and he's even been punished.
But in Nigeria, we seem to be reinstating our bandits.
That is to tell you, those started with the responsibility are thinking backward instead of forward. For over 20 years.
When it comes to Nigerian security issue, we are just one step ahead and 5 steps backwards. Because tell me why Bello Turiji is coming back with so much confidence. That means nothing actually happened to him. Maybe there was an agreement for him to go silent for a while. Yes, and now he's back.
Zainab, if you watch the video with a forensic eye, part of the statement he said that I don't need to introduce myself because even the world know who I am. Is that not an authoritative statement?
Very authoritative.
I told one of our colleagues, we live in a community where we have 2 governments. One is collecting tax and the other one is collecting ransom.
Thank you so much. Let's end with that statement so we will have something to talk about tomorrow. And that will be all on our newspaper review. Up next is a report on the grand finale of Galaxy Basketball 20th anniversary celebration. Stay tuned.
After days of engaging conversations, exhibitions, and strategic discussions, the curtains drew gracefully on the series of events marking Galaxy Backbone's 20th anniversary celebration, culminating in a glamorous gala and award night. Guests, dignitaries, and stakeholders arrived in elegant fashion, adding color and prestige to the evening as they gathered to celebrate 2 decades of driving Nigeria's digital transformation. Goodwill messages poured in from distinguished personalities who commended the organization for its resilience, innovation, and unwavering commitment to providing digital infrastructure and services across the country. Among those who paid glowing tribute was former governor of Jigawa State, His Excellency Ibrahim Saminu Turaki.
It's a very serious issue I'm talking about, because now we are talking about digital age. To have a data center that will employ 30,000 engineers, you need 100,000 megawatts. We're at 4,000, 18,000 megawatts. In Jigawa, why we did ICT, because we are looking at when we came in, the first thing we looked, how much each household in Jigawa, what do they have? So how can we accelerate income for the people? Today, an AI expert in Silicon Valley, California, gets $500,000 salary annually.
As the celebrations continued, guests exchanged warm wishes and messages of support, expressing optimism for an even brighter future for the organization.
On Wednesday, when I made my remarks, I spoke about $1 CD to keep the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria poor. I had the singular privilege of being the chairman of COVID-19. And without Galaxy, we would have shut down the entirety of the government of this federation. But Galaxy provided for us the infrastructure that we continue to hold Federal Executive Council meetings in spite of the lockdown.
As Galaxy Backbone entered its next phase, Jigawa State is ready for stronger and practical collaboration in many areas, including secure connectivity, cloud adoption, cybersecurity, digital identity, data exchange, rural connectivity, shared platforms, and capacity building.
Over the past 2 decades, Galaxy Backbone has become more than a technology institution. It has been a trusted partner in Nigeria's digital transformation, strengthening public service delivery and connecting government and citizens through resilient digital infrastructure. Beyond technology, the recent corporate social responsibility initiatives have demonstrated that true leadership is measured not only by innovation, but also by compassion and service to humanity.
The night would not have been completed without the presentation of special recognition awards to individuals and institutions whose contributions have helped shape the success story of Galaxy Backbone over the last 2 decades. The awards served not only as celebration of excellence, but also as a testament to the enduring partnership that have sustained the organization's growth. With memories created and achievements celebrated, the gala brought the anniversary activities to a fitting close, leaving stakeholders united in their commitment to advancing Nigeria's digital future. From the celebration of past accomplishments to the promise of a greater possibilities ahead, Galaxy Backbone's 20th anniversary gala and award night ended on a high note, an enduring tribute to 2 decades of innovation, partnership, and national impact.
This is Political Arena on S24 Television. I am your host, Abubakar Turaki. Ahead of 2027 general elections, political activities are already gaining attention as the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar picked former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi as his running mate under the African Democratic Congress, ADC. The decision has generated discussion about the strength of the opposition and the chance of the new political partnership. Today, we look at what this means for Atiku and the ADC and the Nigeria's future election ahead of 2027. This afternoon, I am joined by my guest, a public analyst, Mr. Charles. Welcome to Political Arena on S24 television.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
It's actually a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Same here. I would always come back, you know.
So, Mr. Charles, speak
Yes.
to me as a concerned Nigerian and a public analyst. What is your take on Atiku Abubakar picking Rotimi Amechi as his running mate? And after Atiku Abubakar emerged as the ADC presidential flag bearer, we saw how he has been going around consoling those people that he defeated.
Yeah.
We saw his pictures with Hayatuddin, and subsequently we saw his picture with Amechi. What does that mean to our democracy?
Well, you know, before saying anything on that, you know, Atiku, you can't take it away from him. Atiku is a fantastic politician. Whether that has favored him or not favored him in recent times is a different kettle of fish. But his choice of Amechi tries to tell you the kind of balance that he really, really needs to be able to put in place. It seems as if it's going to be a repeat of what had happened in the last political dispensation, as it were, where you had Tinubu on one side, you have Peter Obi and another person on one side, and then you have Atiku and another. Yeah, so the principal people are still the ones that are there. What would now make Omar for all of them is the choice of the vice president, the
Running mate.
And you can see that even in those that's the APC where everything seems to be settled. You are able to hear from the grapevine people talking about there could be a replacement of
the vice president.
So it's also the same thing. I think one person that is just certain as at this point is the Peter Obi team, where himself and Kwankwaso.
The OK ticket.
Yeah, yes, of course, the OK ticket, actually. So you see, for him to be able to get this is also to try to see how they can balance up this. If you look at the South, Obi is already from the Southeast. If you look at the Tinubu, the APC ticket, Tinubu is from the Southwest. So as it is, the South is what is not represented anywhere, as it were. So he is from the Northeast, that's Atiku Abubakar. So he gets the South, so he's able to now see, okay, this is how you can balance up this thing. Don't also forget that it might be like some kind of correction of what many people term as a political blunder before, where in the last election, people felt he was supposed to take Wike from the South, and he did not. You know, so this time around, he's like, okay, let me still go back and be able to get. I mean, if you're going to count two strong men in politics from the South, I mean, he definitely,
of course, he has a strong political record.
Yeah, he has. Being 2 times a speaker, 2 times minister,
and a governor.
2 times governor. I mean, what else can he aspire to be?
Of course,
at least the only thing left for him
the president
is the presidency. If he doesn't get that, at least. If he doesn't get the moon, he might get the stars, which would be the vice president.
If he doesn't get the moon, he get the star.
Yes.
Well, but Mr. Charles, looking at how the APC have been so desperate to win the 2027 elections, we recently saw a verdict given by Justice Lee Fu, which subsequently the Supreme Court have actually stopped that verdict by Justice Lee Fu. Don't you think that ADC may likely not make a difference because the ruling party are so adamant to continue ruling ahead of 2027? And we saw how they are actually, by hook, line, and sinker, welcoming some Dekampi into their own political party. Do you think 2027 election is going to be free, fair, credible, and acceptable?
I really, really doubt. I really doubt it's going to be free, fair, and acceptable, because what has even happened in the last one was nothing short of free, fair, and credible. What has happened when the primaries, when we have the new laws, the electoral laws, that, okay, this is how the primaries are supposed to go, is far from what is free, fair, and credible. What has happened in Ekiti last week is far from, recently, to me, it's still far from free, fair, and credible, because if you look at the numbers, that is not how numbers actually come out. And this kind of thing actually brings you back to places where APC was even contesting against nobody. That's the internal
primaries.
I mean, look at the presidential primaries. Why would he had no opponent in his party? He's the president. He's the person that calls the shot.
He's the sole candidate.
He's the sole candidate because the other person was just put there for cosmetics, in as far as I am concerned. But look at how massively the figures were rigged in his favor. Because I'll say rigged, because I was there on ground in places where no election took place, no primary election took place, and then the numbers were thrown out, looking at 10 million people and all that. So it really bothers me that if we are going to continue to go with the way we've been going with the primaries, with now the election inequity and all that, and of course how the federal government through the APC government is trying to arm twist all the political parties to say, no, you register this, no, these ones are not going to be. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing for democracy in Nigeria.
So you mean it's high time for like international organizations to step in ahead of 2027?
Can they do anything? Because it's been a long time.
We saw what happened in 2015 when the incumbent president loses election.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. That's a spectacular time. That was a very, very admirable thing to happen within our democracy. These things have happened in America, but people always tell you if someone that's incumbent can never go down. But once you see things like that, you get encouraged. If you look at cases like even what happened in Ekiti with Farishe before, he did 4 years and then someone won and then he came back again. Even in Kano, it had happened with Kwankwaso. In places like Adamawa, it had happened with Bauchi. In places like Bauchi, yes. So these are the things that
even Lagos,
Ambode. Yes, Ambode, yes, of course. But of course, Lagos own is a very suspicious case because once you match the leg of an elephant, something happens to you. So that wasn't really strictly like this is what the people said they did not want. It was what the powers that be that said, no, you're not going to continue with this after these 4 years. Somebody else is going to take over. And that is what we should be very, very careful about. That someone from up there will stand and take decision that is actually the right of the people to be able to take, and someone else will call the shots and make sure that it happens against the will of the people. Now that's dangerous.
Mr. Charles, this boils down to my next question. Apart from like President Muhammadu Buhari, may his soul continue to rest in peace.
Yeah.
There is no any prominent northern politician apart from Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah.
Don't you think that the presence of Atiku Abubakar and picking Amechi as his running mate, don't you think that this is going to give him like an added advantage this time around? Because Kwankwaso, he's now running on a joint ticket with Obi. And Tinubu, he's going to run under the platform of the APC.
Yes.
While Atiku Abubakar is the sole candidate in the northern Nigeria, as far as northerners are concerned.
Yes.
Don't you think that joint ticket is going to give a tough time to the ruling party?
Well, sure. I'm sure it's going to do that. It's going to, and that's what I'm sure Atiku has been able to look at, to be able to make sure that, okay, if we are able to get to, don't forget that Amechi is also revered in the corners. He was a very good ally to the former President Buhari. You know how they even gave him a title in Daura, where he had exactly. Yes. So that's his title. So even that will play out because a lot of people have seen how, while he was Minister for Transportation, was able to now see how things can actually work when it comes to the issue of transportation. The
Transportation University also established in Daura.
Exactly. So all these things will play a greater part, especially again coming with the fact that a lot of people in the north are beginning to have a lot of misgivings about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course somehow his vice president has not been able to diffuse that. Maybe because he's from the northeast.
Well, they say that the vice president is more or less like a spare tire.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to even go into that, but at least he should be, being from the north, he should be able to diffuse all the tension where people are like, no, we are not going to do.
To me, as a public analyst, what is your take on that joint Muslim ticket?
Okay. Well, as a public analyst, I had no problem, or I have no problem when you come with same religion tickets and all that. Maybe because of sensibilities. Before we didn't have that issue because we had the Kingi base, we had the, but a problem to the sensibilities of a lot of people. So most times, fairness should be seen to be done, not
Mr.
actually.
Charles,
yes.
In less than a minute.
Yes.
Speak to Nigerians ahead of 2027 in ensuring Nigerians go for the credible person, irrespective of religion and political party.
Well, a lot of people are beginning to get disenfranchised, and there's going to be a lot of voter apathy. In the last election, it was about 20-something%. I'm talking to Nigerians that we should come out en masse. People that have just turned to 18 should make sure nothing stops them from getting their PVCs, so that this time around, if we are going to come out 50 to 55 to 60% to vote, there is no rigging machinery that can stand against Nigerians.
Thank you so much for speaking to S24 Television,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Charles. It's a pleasure speaking to you always.
Thank you very much.
And I pray Nigeria will be great.
Amen. That's our prayer.
And that is what we have this afternoon on Political Arena. Don't forget, Nigeria is our only country we have, and it is our own major to take everything possible to make Nigeria better, governable, and peaceful ahead of 2027. Thank you, and bye for now.
My final question to you is talking about the community watch initiative, the sort of Sea Watch initiative that the governor of Kitsano State put in place a couple of years ago, recruiting local people, training them, equipping them and arming them and giving them vehicles to be the eyes and ears of the equipping them and arming them and giving them vehicles to be the eyes and ears of the security forces in certain areas. And it was quite interesting because when I recently interviewed him, I was saying it reminded me, you know, when you're a student of conflict media, you know, you're just interested as someone who's had previous military experience in these things. You go back through history and you see maybe the British putting people into compounds and villages in Malaya, arming them, setting up militias, and then sort of, you know, patrolling the dead areas, dead zones, if you like. We've seen it not work in Vietnam. We've seen it not work in other places. All of the evidence is there that if you engage local people in their own defence, then that's helping you to then focus on what's going on. So do you think it's a healthy balance of something like, you know, armed Sea Watch people that are recruited locally so they know the roads, they know where they'd get ambushed, with technology would help us to be able to look at the situation in northern Nigeria much more effectively rather than reacting. We'd be able to be proactive about what goes on.
Well, you see, community engagement is vital. No insecurity thrive without the support of the immediate community. So to me, I've been an advocate of the fact that we need to actually engage the youths in a community, but don't just engage them. You have to make sure that they should believe in what you're doing, because there are some people that can play double agent. They can be agent for the security forces and be agent for the insurgents. So what we need to do is we should be very careful. We should select carefully. We should be able to make sure that they are well trained. Not only are they well trained, they should be able to believe in the fact that they are working for their own community. They should see how dangerous the actions of insurgents, how bad it is to them. I used to tell people that I remembered there was a time I was in Maiduguri and I had the chance to discuss with some people. I did a small table for them and I asked them, who constructed road for you? Government. Who did school for you? Government. Who did hospital for you? Government. Who gave you a police station, an army, and what have you? I gave them a whole list of what the government does for them. So I now asked them, okay, what does Boko Haram do for you? All what they do for you is they bring IED, they kidnap your woman, they kill you, they prevent you from farming. So it's all negatives. So these are some of the ways in which you can drive your points. You show them the good that the government is doing and the bad that the insurgents or the bandits are doing. And I could see at that time that all of them, they begin to start thinking that, it is true that this one cannot be my friend. Somebody who is, all what he does is get an IED for you. He kidnaps you, he kills you, he stops you from farming, he stops you from going to the market, he attacks you indiscriminately, and because of him, you cannot go out, cannot be your friend. Whereas whatever the government does for you is good for you. They give you road, they give you hospital, they give you school, they give you a court, they employ an army, they employ police, they employ judges, they pay salaries. So many people are working in government and they bring people to facilitate for you to do farming. So by the time you do such kind of engagement with those communities, I can tell you that you can have combats. People who will believe that this kind of insurgency and banditry are not what we like in our community. And if you do such things, it will reduce those who actually will be supporting the bandits and insurgents, and it will actually increase those who will be for peace.
As a new week begins, security agencies across the country remain focused on their core mandate. Welcome to Security Update on S24 television. I am Gloria in Borno State, neutralizing a suspected intruder near a military position and arresting a man believed to be spying for terrorists. Security sources say troops of the 29 Task Force Brigade were on a routine perimeter patrol in Gamandu, Kaga local government area when they spotted a female suspect approaching the defensive perimeter of a military location late on June 20th. The suspect was neutralized while the patrol ended without any further security incident. In a separate operation, troops of the 19th Brigade deployed at the Kekanu-Mongonu checkpoint arrested 26-year-old Mustafa Mohammed, who is suspected of working as an intelligence operative for ISWAP. The suspect was apprehended following credible intelligence indicating he was involved in gathering information and facilitating plans to attack troops stationed at the forward operating base in Kekanu. He remains in military custody for interrogation and intelligence exploitation. Meanwhile, in Anambra State, police have arrested the biological parents of twin infants whose lifeless bodies were discovered inside a drainage channel in the Okpoko area of Ogbaru local government area. The bodies, wrapped in a box containing baby clothes, were found by residents who alerted security operatives. The Anambra State Police Command says investigators swiftly traced and arrested the parents, who are now assisting detectives in establishing the circumstances surrounding the tragic incident. Commissioner of Police Ikioye Orutugu described the case as disturbing and a gross violation of the sanctity of human life, stressing that anyone found culpable will face the full weight of the law. In Edo State, security operatives have intensified efforts to curb court-related violence following the killing of a man at Jatu Junction in Auchi. The Edo State Security Corps, working alongside other agencies, arrested 14 suspects during coordinated raids on criminal hideouts in Edo North. Security teams also sealed a hotel in Aviele believed to have been used to plan the attack and demolish 2 motor parks at Jatu Junction said to be operating illegally. Authorities say investigations are ongoing while key suspects linked to the killing remain at large. And in the fight against drug trafficking, the NDLEA has arrested 2 elderly men in Abia State accused of supplying illicit drugs to secondary school students. The suspect, aged 84 and 75, were apprehended in separate operations in Umuahia, where operatives discovered opioids, including tramadol and diazepam. One of the suspects allegedly supplied drugs to teenage students, including a 15-year-old who admitted consuming and selling the substances to classmates. Across the country, the agency also intercepted synthetic drugs hidden in shipments from China, arrested suspected traffickers in Lagos, Kogi, Ekiti, and Oyo states, and recovered large quantities of cannabis and other illicit substances. And that's all we can take on our security update for today. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's Tech Update, where we bring you the latest developments shaping the world of technology and beyond. I am Gladys Esuko. To start with, industry experts have reported a significant shift toward biometric passwordless authentication as cyber criminals continue to develop sophisticated credential cyber techniques. Organizations are increasingly adopting biometric methods such as fingerprint and facial recognition to enhance security. This move aims to reduce reliance on traditional passwords and provide safer, faster, and more convenient access to platforms. Moving on to the global cybersecurity, the rise in cyber-related losses worldwide has prompted governments to strengthen their legal frameworks. A notable example is Malaysia's proposed cybercrime bill, designed to tackle increasingly complex cyber threats, including AI scams and deepfake technologies. This legislative effort reflects a growing global commitment to combating crime